At the beginning of the season, I had Marcin Mikulski as the head of youth development. However, throughout the season that we've been through, and we're at the winter break now, I've replaced him with someone else. But why did I replace him? Well, despite the fact he's given me a lot of good talent over the years, his media handling and his personality left a bit to be desired. Outspoken is not a great media handling style, and fairly ambitious is not great for professionalism, and I wanted some more professional people at the club, so I brought someone else in instead. The person I brought in is Jose Cruz, from, of all places, UE. He's been the head of youth development for a long time, and between a reserved media handling style and a resolute personality, it felt like the best person for the job, and he felt like the best person we could have brought in because of how good he is. Also, new skin, hello, how we doing? Yes, his coaching attributes are not as great, but he's only got a National B license. I would love it if he wanted to do some more coaching badges, but his attributes have already started to improve a little bit in the defending side of things. But other than that, he's quite good for the role, and I think this guy could be an incredible head of youth development if he takes his coaching badges and actually improves. We've given him a 5-year deal, resolute personality, reserved media handling style. It was the best thing we could have done. We also brought in Luka Milivojevic as an under-19s coach. He's got a National C license already. Yes, he's got outspoken and level-headed media handling style, but he's a perfectionist, which again is great. And he speaks a lot of languages, and is also studying for his National B license. The fact he's this good with a National C license is really promising, and something I think we can use to our advantage. So, let's go with the games we've had, since we don't have any European football this season. The beginning of the season wasn't our best, to say the least. We drew the first game 2-2, we were 1-0 up, then went 2-1 down, then made it 2-2. Robert Kowalski getting a brace. We then won the next game by a goal to 0 away from home, but then drew our next 2 league games at home, 2-2 and 1-1. We took the lead in both games, we threw away the lead in both games, meaning that in the first 3 games, we threw away a 1 or 2 goal lead. So, not great. But then we won the next 6 games in all competitions, and I was thinking, yes, this is a good sign, including the 4-0 win against last year's champions Pagon, and admittedly, they were down a 10-minute side 4 minutes, so that was a very simple game for us to win. But it's good to know that we can win these games, and we are actually able to win generally at all. However, the month of October wasn't as great, and I must confess to being a little concerned when we started to struggle a little bit. We did win the cup game, thankfully, but a 1-1 draw, a 2-1 defeat, and a 0-0 draw against teams that we really should be beating, especially in the case of Arca and LSK Lutz, wasn't great for our point of view. We then took on Rakov and won the game 2-1 before we lost to Lechia in the cup on penalties after making it 2-2. So, not great from our point of view. We were 1-0 down, then equalised, then conceded literally a minute later, then equalised again. But losing on penalties means that we've gone 9 years without getting past the quarter-final in the Polski Cup. Again, it's a problem. But then we drew our next game against Legia Warsaw. I thought, okay, we're fine. And then we've won our last 5 league games in a row. Wadrek Wadon, Krukovia, Slask, Wizzo, and Lechia. I like to think things are going rather well, and we have absolutely proven that we can hang, and that maybe last year, being at the Champions League group stage, might have been the issue for us all along, and we've not lost anyone in the transfer window yet, so that's a good sign. But what I must confess is I didn't see the fact that we could be 9 points clear going into the winter break coming. Can you blame me? Winter break, normally I think, oh, we're just 3 points clear, or we're in second place or something. I don't think I've ever had a lead this big going into the winter break ever, which, again, amazing for us to actually have at this point in time. But 9 points clear when everyone else behind us is fighting each other, and look at how competitive it is in the league, by the way. You've got 4 teams and 27 points, 2 points behind 5th place, Legia. You've got an extra 3 teams just 3 points behind, within 3 points of 6th place, so that's again another exciting thing. And yet the relegation battle, we've got 3 teams with 20 points, and with their block, who won the cup last year, just 1 point behind them. All I gotta do is feel sorry for Mids because they're actually looking like they're going to be out of the league already, despite doing quite well to get back up. So it's very competitive. Pagon are only 2 points clear of Lecce and Cracovia, who are only 2 points clear of Legia, who are also only 2 points clear of 4 teams. So it's competitive to say the least, and I think this could be our best chance to win our 3rd title in 4 years, and easily, potentially, our best ever title win. If we don't blow it away like Slash did that one year when they were comfortably top of the table and only won twice in the last 13 games. Our record after winter break is normally pretty good, and given we haven't lost 5 in a row this year, or gone 5 games without a win, says a lot. The fact we went 3 games without a win at one point in October and still bounced back tells me that we have a chance to do well here. Ironically enough, our squad is improving to the point that we're now apparently 50-1 odds to win the league. Now, admittedly, I don't know how much of that is down to what we're doing in the league right now. Going from experience in the past, that's not the case, but my players are improving, so again, it's great. We're looking like we're going to be having a fun time this year. Also, for the first time I can really remember, I don't really bring this up because it doesn't normally happen, but we're actually spending over 3 million in the wage budget this year because I wanted to ensure that we are to keep our players. And we're actually losing money quite quickly as a result of tax. More than wages. Yes, tax is literally the reason why we're losing money this year. And it's a strange situation to be in. The fact we're not anywhere near the top 3 in terms of wages, and I think one day we will be, but we need European football consistently to ensure that we can be in the top 3, talk for wages, and not worry about it at all. But yeah, we are spending just 3.32 million on wages. We are trying to ensure that none of our players want to leave us, and hopefully that will be the case. However, we are starting to have players getting wanted by some of the clubs around us. Silka not been a major concern since Mr. Plock wants him, but we can hold off against anyone buying him. And yes, he's actually been the #1 goalkeeper this year. He's only a 2nd tier player, but has got 8 clean sheets in 18, so he's not been terrible at all, with an average rating of a 7.08. But then we got the likes of Merrick Sariki, who at this point has always been considered a leading player for this division, is wanted by Brentford, Palace, Leeds United, and Southampton, so not ideal in that point of view. We've got Bolak, who's wanted by Whistler Block again, so again, not a major concern, and he's definitely improving. He is now considered a top level player as well, which is great to see that he's finally got to that level. But then we got the problem with Kasper Ciceki, wanted by Dortmund. He's only got another 2 years after this season on his contract. I'm hoping we can convince him to sign a new deal, but I wouldn't be shocked if I need to give him a massive pay rise to ensure he doesn't want to leave us. We got Robert Kowalski wanted by Lecce, and given that he's got 88 goals in 155 appearances, I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. We've got Alexander Supreme wanted by Lecce, Poznan, and Legia Warsaw, so 2 of the big dogs in terms of reputation wanting him, but I think we can keep hold of him if we win the title this year, because I think our reputation would be bigger, because I think our reputation would be bigger than anyone else in the country, because of how the fact that the league is now a 3.5-star reputation league. But to me, despite all the problems I'm potentially going to have in the transfer window, this has been a very successful start to the year, and I like to think that next year we can do fine. It's just a shame that our coefficients this year, we're losing a 10.25 season, and we've only got a 3.8 so far this year, meaning that we're going to be going down at least 1 place, maybe 2. I don't know yet, but I think we're going to lose 2 places, going down to 13th place, which is not great when you realize that we're going to be losing, well, not be a lot. We're going to be losing a Europa League playoff spot instead of anything else. So we had this spot, we're losing it. We're going to lose a Europa Conference League 3rd qualifying round position and go down to 2 in the 2nd qualifying round again. As things stand, I'm just hoping that we don't lose more than just 2 spots, because if we can get a top 10 spot, it'd be great, but if we can't, then it is what it is, unfortunately. Speaking of European competitions, though, I need to talk about the fact that we have some teams in Europe still, and they're not doing so great. Pagon have won 1 of their 6 games so far, and it's only against AAB, who are boss of the entire group. They've lost to Chavez and Slavia Prague. I don't have a lot of faith that this side will do great in this competition. They had Porto and Liverpool in the last 2 games, so it's not great, is it? We got Europa League now, and we got 2 teams in this. We got Lecce Poznan and Wisla Block in Europa League, and oh, it's not great, is it? Lecce have beaten Habora, so that's actually a decent team. They're actually around them, but they're above them right now. They've drawn against Leonaris, so again, not terrible results, but they've lost to Maccabi Tel Aviv, Anderlecht, and Tiraspol, so again, not good results to be losing. But in Europa League, they got Nice, and actually a very kind draw in this Turkish team. So I'm hoping we can get a do result here, but if they can't, then it's not ideal for us, given that they're in 8th place in the league as well. Well, Wisla Block are not doing very well. They beat Viking by 3-0, drew 2-2 against Ross County, then lost to Sparta Prague, Lokomotiv, Hertha Berlin, and Newcastle. To be fair, I can understand the Hertha and Newcastle ones. They're not easy games. Newcastle, by the way, are struggling. Last I checked, they've only won twice against Wisla Block and Sparta Prague. They drew against RB Leipzig and Reims. They lost to Ross County and Roma. Yeah, Ross County in this competition, and they've won 3 times. Beating Newcastle for this and Lokomotiv. They've drawn against Wisla Block, but they've lost against Reims and I don't understand sometimes. I really don't. Antalyaspor and Reims are the last 2 opponents for Wisla Block. So that Turkish team might have 2 of their opponents, 2 of their teams in this. So, ooh, yeah, that's easy opponents I think for them. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm hoping that we can at least see our teams in Europe do well. I just don't see it happening. They're the only 3 teams that made it in the next phase. Next year we should be in the Champions League, and I'm hoping we do well for it. But who knows what's going to happen with that. What I'm going to do, though, is end this here. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Hope you guys like and share this video, and that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. Anyway, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.